welcome to a new venture that I'm trying out, and that is doing a screencast. And so instead of doing a normal blog post, what I wanted to do was provide you with a screencast of what I would have written down. And today's topic is lessons that I learned from The Intern. The Intern is a movie that stars Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. As you can see on the image, it says that experience never goes out of fashion. What's interesting about the movie is that it stems on the relationship between Hathaway and De Niro. And fortunately, their friendship and professional relationship turn out to benefit both of them. You see, the partnership is one that Jules initially rejects, and it's hard not to pity Ben in the opening scene. He shows up to work only to find out that there's 0 emails in his inbox. He runs errands for Jules and drives her to work rather than helping her with the important corporate questions which she was brought in for. Ultimately, the alliance forged is one that employers everywhere, regardless of their age, can learn from. In the movie, Anne Hathaway plays Jules Alston, a high-powered executive at a new fashion website. At face value, Jules nearly embodies the millennial entrepreneur. She rides a bike to get around the office, works odd hours, and doesn't even have a private office. Why? Because nobody at the company does. As a doting mother, she often forgets to eat, and the crux of the story is her refusal to hire a CEO to better balance out her workload. At only 18 months old, Jules' startup company has already achieved its 5-year goals. De Niro, on the other hand, plays Ben. He's a senior intern hired to work for her after he rejects the ideal of retirement. Ben comes to Jules' company as part of a special senior intern program. And when I say senior intern, we're talking about 60 years and up, not the intern that's been there the longest. But he quickly makes his mark on the company. And even though his professional career was previously dedicated to selling phone books, the men at the office can't help but gravitate toward him. So what I want to do is share with you 5 lessons that I learned from watching The Intern. The first one was that you should not be afraid to try new things. For Ben in the movie, age did not matter. In his retired life, he spent the first few years trying lots of new things. But sometimes we just like to use the age as a convenient excuse for not trying something new. I found out a few new things that I've tried, I ended up loving them. I moved down here to Florida, and I made a commitment to my wife that at least at a minimum, once a month we'd go to the beach. Well, after doing that for over a year, I found out that I looked forward to these trips and actually enjoyed going to the beach, even though seems like I bring half of it home in my car. Another thing, asparagus and Brussels sprouts. Oh, I hated those. I wouldn't try them, but today those are 2 of my favorite veggies. So I learned, yes, don't be afraid to try new things. What's on your wish list of things to do? I encourage you to follow Nike's slogan and just do it, and start crossing them off your list. The second lesson I learned from The Intern is that chivalry is never dead. Now, I gotta admit, I'm not the best at it, but I know that it never goes out of style. Under vocabulary.com, I found this definition: men behaving courteously toward women, holding the door for them, offering them their jacket when it's cold. It's called chivalry. Many women consider chivalry as a lost art. Nice work, fellas. It comes from the word cavalry, and the medieval Latin word means horseman or knight. So in the Middle Ages, a knight was expected to be brave, loyal, and to open the tavern door for his date. Picture a knight kneeling before a maiden and kissing her hand. It's the classic image of chivalry from the storybooks. And I'm sure that some women wonder whether this ever really exists at all. The third lesson that I learned from The Intern was that sometimes we just need to hear it from someone else. In the movie, Jules is faced with a difficult decision regarding her company, specifically that of hiring a CEO. This becomes an internal struggle that she wrestles with throughout the movie. In one of the final scenes, she discusses her options with Ben, wanting him to tell her what to do. But Ben refuses, and he assures her that she knows in her heart what should be done. In life, I don't think that we're much different. We know what needs to be done. We know what we should be doing, but yet we still want to hear it from someone else. Just like Hathaway's character wanted Ben to make it easier for her. The fourth lesson that I learned from The Intern is that we should remember our past victories. John Maxwell says that evaluated reflection turns experience into insight. One of the things I like to encourage folks in my Battle Rhythm course is to shake off our setbacks and focus on our victories. Tony Robbins does the same thing. Throughout the year, he collects accomplishments and magic moments and he puts them in a journal, almost like saving up receipts for tax purposes, he says. At the end of the year, I go and review them all. I look at the area of our businesses, our relationships, finance, and family. And what Tony Robbins has found out is that success leaves clues. By reflecting on these magic moments, you can determine what worked for you and how you can leverage that to make what you really want to happen again in the following year. The final lesson that I learned from the intern was that we are all trying to fill a hole in our life. Many questions seek out the meaning of life include, what should I do, or why are we here, and what is life all about? What is the purpose of existence? And some even question, does life exist at all? You see, man's search for meaning has produced philosophical, scientific, and theological speculation throughout history, but none more than Rick Warren's The Purpose-Driven Life book. This devotional book has sold over 65 million copies. Its popularity is second only to the Bible in sales. The spiritual premise in The Purpose-Driven Life is that there are no accidents. God planned everything and everyone. So no matter what age we are, how good or bad our career seems to be going, I think we'll always come back to trying to find the purpose of our life. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my lessons learned from the intern. If you've not seen the movie, you should check it out. And if you have, I'd love to hear if you learned other lessons from the movie. Do your friends a favor and share this quick screencast with them. I bet they'll love it as much as you do.